Well, folks, there's a record number of single dads who are heading up U.S. households now, a record number now. And my next guest is one of them. But he says he's got his hands full and he needs some major help. Let's take a look.
Hi, Steve. My name is Jay. I'm a 53-year-old single dad from Michigan. I've already raised my 30-year-old son on my own, and now I'm raising two teenage daughters, 13 and 15. Things can get ugly at my house. Not a day goes by when these two are not fighting. I mean all-out ultimate fighting. They curse, they dress provocatively, they seem to have no respect for each other and sometimes me. And when I try to discipline them, they say I'm too old, I'm not in touch with their culture. I just feel like if I don't get a handle on this, they could go down the wrong path. Steve, I love my daughters. I would do anything for them. Can you help me?
Well, Jay is joining us. Jay, how you doing?
Good, Steve. How are you?
How bad is it at home for you?
Well, it's terrible at times, Steve. I mean, I have what we refer to in my household as diva drama. These girls are constantly battling. And when I mean battling, I mean kicking, scratching, cursing, pulling hair. And when I find out what they're fighting about, it's like, you've got to be kidding me, you know?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So, and then in terms of, you know, they'll come home and they'll go straight to their room, you know, and lock the door at times. You know, so, you know, it's hard for me to guide them in that if they're not going to communicate with me. I mean, my younger daughter says, Dad, why would I talk to you? You're my dad, you know? And I'm like, well, you know, I want them to come to me because if I don't know what's going on in their lives, how can I be a good father to them, you know?
Yeah. You had some problems last night here at the hotel, I understand.
Well, you know, I happened to hear some commotion, which is nothing out of the ordinary, and I picked up the cell phone. I happened to catch just a little segment of their interactions. So.
Well, we got a tape of it. You bought this video. Let's take a look.
Will you two cut it out? Girls, enough.
Okay, stop!
Enough, girl. Stop, all right? Cool it. Stop being stupid. Now I got you on camera.
Dad, stop!
It's amazing when you bust them, they want you to stop. That's all we got. How have you dealt with all of this?
Well, you know, it's actually embarrassing in a sense because I actually wrote a book about being a father called But Dad, where I talk about experiences and reflections in that. So, you know, in terms of even, you know, disciplining them, I'm constantly challenged because the only real tool or weapon, if you will, that I have is to threaten to pull their technology.
Yeah.
And then I get to watch them, you know, sit in the corner sucking their thumb in the fetal position because without it, they don't know what to do with themselves, you know. And when I, you know, I do try to reason with them. I mean, you know, I try to talk with them and they feel as though that I'm boring and annoying and, you know, and then when I try to play the hard line with them and really am tougher with them, they tend not to take me so seriously. They're like, Dad, what's that? Oh, that's you wrapped around our fingers, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it is difficult.
What's your biggest fear in all of this?
You know, my biggest fear is that they're going to make bad decisions. I mean, they really need to come to terms with their anger and their emotions. You know, with the way they dress and so forth and so on, I feel like, you know, they can be putting themselves in a bad position, sending out the wrong signal.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, as a father to two teenage girls, I mean, that's one of my biggest concerns, you know. You know, I want these kids to be happy, Steve. You know, I want them to be, you know, well-balanced in life and certainly learn to respect themselves, each other, and me.
Yeah, I got some help for you. I've got clinical psychologist and author of Better Than Perfect, Dr. Elizabeth Lombardo here. And Dr. Lombardo, what do you see going on here?
Yeah, Jay's really struggling. And he's struggling not just because of the conduct of his daughters, but also because they aren't babies anymore, right? And you need to change your parenting style. Your household is out of control, and it's time that you take control of it. So here's what you got to do. First of all, stop being their friend. Your daughters don't need a friend, they need a parent. Second of all, establish the rules. What are the must-haves? What are the nice-to-haves? Ideally, the girls could be part of this conversation, but you have the ultimate say. And then, what are the consequences? What are the consequences if they don't abide by the rules and stick to them? It's kids' job to try to cross the line, and as parents, it's our job to maintain those rules. And then finally, parenting is stressful, and especially as a single dad. So I highly recommend that you find a support group of other single dads to help support you through this.
She's absolutely correct. We gotta be their parent, not their friend. And it's hard for us sometimes. And it's especially hard for my girls because they do have me wrapped around their finger. But since you got me wrapped around your finger, know this right here. I now pull the strings. So I'm cool with you saying that, but I pull some strings. There is no money for dressing this way. And that sitting in the fetal position, sucking your thumb, we're gonna do a lot of that. Because, man, if you take that technology from them girls, they got nothing.
I know it.
They got nothing. Jay's not the only one here to talk about this situation. Up next, I'm bringing the girls out. And we're gonna talk to the girls, have a little serious chat, and we're gonna see what they got to say about this whole situation. So we'll be right back with the girls to hear their side of it. Before the break, we met Jay. He's a single dad that's worried about his two daughters being out of control. Now, joining me now are his girls, 15-year-old Corinne and 13-year-old Victoria. Hi, ladies. Are your fights as bad as your dad says?
It can be. It starts with us arguing, then fist fighting, screaming, and cussing. She'll cuss at me, then I cuss back.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. We'll fight, and she'll give me bloody noses, and...
No. Okay, the other day we were at dinner, and she had headphones on. And while we were eating dinner at this restaurant, so then I was like, well, Dad, are you gonna say something?
But I wasn't even listening to them. They were just around my neck.
I said something, and she kicked me in the stomach.
That's not why I kicked her, though. She said something before that made me kick her.
Man, my head hurt. It just really does. Your dad was out here, and he said, when he finally finds out what the argument or the fight is about, it's like over the most unbelievable thing. I'm actually hearing it right now. You got your headphones on around your neck. Dad, she's listening to her headphone. I'm gonna kick your ass in your stomach then. Let me ask you this. How do you think this affects your dad emotionally?
It's hard on him, and I know, like, it hurts him because we fight a lot, and but at the same time, they need to understand, she makes me upset about a lot of things, and then I don't want to be around her, and then...
Yeah. Can I ask y'all a question? Do you like her?
Sometimes.
Do you like her? Let me ask you this question. Do you love each other?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Lombardo, let me ask you this. What do you see happening here?
Yeah. So, girls, you love each other and you love your father, but you aren't acting like that. It's time to take responsibility for your conversations instead of going to Dad about everything that's going wrong. You're yelling and screaming at each other. Is that really how you want to act? You know, a couple years, you'll be out in the workforce. Are you going to hit your boss because you don't like what he or she's saying? No, you don't want to do that. And so now is the opportunity for you to sit down and communicate. And the other thing is, you're complaining a lot. You have a father who loves you unconditionally. You have so many blessings in your life. It's time to start focusing on gratitude and appreciation instead of complaining about what you don't have.
Let's talk about a simple word that I haven't heard. It's just a simple, it's called respect. You don't respect your father. You owe him that. The lifestyle you have, he provides that. You don't. The home that you live in, the clothes you wear, he provides that. You don't. And he loves you unconditionally, and he has your best interests at heart. That deserves respect. Not doing what you want to do, but the reason you're doing what you want to do is because you're leaving out something else I haven't heard. And you probably have heard this from your father, and you think it's old-fashioned, or you think it's old, but you don't act like ladies. You've got everything in front of you, and you got a dad that would die for you. What you're doing is you're setting yourself up for the wrong thing to come your way in your life. There is a law of attraction that works like this. The thing that you put out is the thing that you attract. So if you're fighting, if you're exuding, you're portraying this type of behavior, that's the behavior that's going to come to you. I know that this issue is not going to be resolved in just one day. I got that. But I think you're good kids. Your dad said you do great in school, so you're not crazy. You just act like it. But you're really not crazy. So today, Dr. Lombardo has agreed to do 3 months of counseling with Jay, Corinne, and Victoria. He's going to do that. And that's not all. Here's the good one. I'm going to be sending you, both of you, to my wife Marjorie's mentoring camp for girls. She has a wonderful program called Girls Rule the World every year down in Atlanta. So I think you're going to be fine, but respect and a lady. If you act like a lady, you'll be treated like a lady. That's the bottom line. So thank you all very much. Thanks to all my guests. We'll be right back.